Hello, students. I welcome you to the third session of Impetus series, personality in the history. Now we have done six personalities till now. Three in the first one. We have done Annie Besant. We have done Dadabhai Naoroji, and we have done Firoz Shah Mehta, right, in the first session. In the second session, we have discussed Lajpat Rai. Many of the details that we have discussed it's a relatively long timeline of Lajpat Rai, right? Very important questions also with respect to Lajpat Rai that we have discussed. Then Bipin Chandrapal, not a lot of detail, but enough detail that can be asked in the examination. Lal Pal Bal, the trinity of Lal Pal Pal. Third, we have discussed Bal Gangadhar Tilak. Here, what you need to remember, one of the details can be asked with respect to his sedition cases. Okay, that becomes relevant for us. All right. So today we're going to discuss two personalities today, continuing our extremist trend. So within our extremist trend, apart from the Lal Bal Pal, two or more personalities are more famous. This is Aurobindo Ghosh and Bankim Chand Chatterjee. Bankim Chatterjee became more, his role was more with respect to in the literary sense, right? He gave what we say an inspiration to these political leaders. Discussing the Aurobindo Ghosh, so he was a spiritual, he was a national leader, then he was a spiritual reformer. Later on, he took upon a spiritual journey, leaving his political journey behind, right? Now we discuss, for example, within extremist journey, I'm not discussing too much of the extremist phase because we already know their basic principles. This much you have done in your static thing, right? Few of the things, for example, Aurobindo Ghosh for the extremist, he wrote a series of articles, New Lamps for the Old. This is his way of a critique of the moderate politics of INC, right? As we have discussed that he was an extremist leader, then that means that he was critical of the moderate way of things. Okay. In fact, we will see his association with the Anushilhan Samiti was also testimony to it. So if we discuss his timeline, so from 1872 to 1950, right? So 1950 post-independence he also lived. However, we see he was not associated with any type of politics. He was on its own spiritual quest. So early years in England, he studied there, and earlier he spent in England. Then he came back in 1983 in India. He took up jobs in the government service, took various places. Then finally he got involved in the Swadeshi and the extremist movement. There he spread the Swadeshi movement, the Swadeshi message, involved in the Anushilhan Samiti, inspired many of the leaders going forward. In 1908, he was involved with the Alipore bomb case. Okay, and he was imprisoned for 1 year. And after that, he took upon the spiritual journey, and from there, no more political details of him are relevant, right? So early years in Britain, not very important. In 1983, as we discussed, he came back to India, started working some, not important for, just need to know this, right? In the survey settlement department, then he moved to the different department, become secretary in the secretariat. So that means he was involved in the government service. So the statement can be like that Aurobindo Ghosh, for brief, was involved in various service within the state, and that is a right statement. Okay. Similar is true for the Bankim Chand Chatterjee also. Now, on the onset or on the perception, if you try to apply the logic that he was an extremist, how can he be involved in the state service? Then it goes wrong. So it's a relatively, what is counterintuitive. So that is why if we now know it, then it becomes easy for us to remember. So then he was associated with Anushilhan Samiti. So it was a revolutionary India-based organization which based upon the idea of the revolutionary violence as a means to bend the British rule. Okay, and it was led by the Aurobindo Ghosh and his brother Barindra Ghosh. So he was associated with this Anushilhan Samiti. Anushilhan Samiti became the first organization on the which inspired many revolutionaries to commit different acts. Okay, right. And he inspired many of the future revolutionaries as well. Then in 1908, Alipore bomb case. Now, just to again reiterate the same point, I think you must have read about this in your history books, right? But presenting it in a very chronological way associated with one personality gives us a different perspective to it. That's it. That is our whole idea of the Impetus series. It is not a way to substitute your current studies, the current way of doing things. It is just to complement it with the different angle so as to reinforce those ideas into your mind, right? Okay, so Alipur bomb case. So this case happened. Khudiram Bose and Praful Chaki threw a bomb on a vehicle of a magistrate's home. However, the bomb killed two British ladies. So Praful Chaki committed suicide and cornered by the police, and Khudiram Bose were arrested. On these charges, also Aurobindo Ghosh and some other people, around 30 plus people, were arrested on the charge that they have committed or conspiracy or charged with the on the trials. They are trying to commit conspiracy against the emperor. So on those charges, Aurobindo Ghosh and other people were charged. Okay, then he spent 1 year rigorous punishment in the prison, and then he went upon its spiritual journey. When we discuss about his spiritual journey, this question can be asked in our art and culture also, okay? Because he gave the philosophy of, in his major work, The Life Divine. Remember, his major work was Life Divine. Apart from that, there are also synthesis of yoga, secrets of Vedas. He talked about integral yoga. Okay, so his major philosophy is said to be integral yoga. From integral yoga, he talked about integral yoga, you can see as a means to reach the end of the Purna Advait. Okay, for example, earlier Advaitar you must have done in your culture philosophy. So one is Shankaracharya's Advait Vedant, then Ramanujacharya Visist Advait, then Dvait Advait. There are many many trends on Vedanta also, right? Within Vedant, as we discussed, Shankaracharya is different, Ramanuja is different, Madhvacharya is different, Dvaitvad. So there are Nimbakacharya is different. So the Aurobindo Ghosh later on talked about Purna Advait. He said that all these are thus right, all these are, but they represent the partial truth. So Advait is one only. It represents itself in various forms. That's what he talked about, Aurobindo. And he said he believed in the idea of integral yoga. Just here also, here, see. So this journey, this is whole is philosophy. Now this is, we read this in the philosophy optional. In philosophy optional, there is a topic named Shri Aurobindo. There we talk about the philosophy of involution and evolution, right? Where he talked about Sat Chit Anand, that is Sat, Chit and Anand, existence, consciousness and bliss. He says that consciousness exists in every matter also. Just like Jain, they talk about that. Even the non-animate objects have some sort of jiva in it. Similar to this, Aurobindo also talked about that Satchit Anand represents himself into matter also. Then life, then psyche, then mind. So this is involution, in which the divine presents itself into these forms. Now he talked about the evolution, how this evolution will happen. So he said evolution first stage is complete. Now the second stage of evolution will happen. I know this is a philosophical thing. You just understand a bit, because for GS purposes this much will work. So involution means the involution means the divine has come into this world. Now this process is half done, right? For the process to be fully done, evolution has to be done. First thing is that. Secondly, he also believed that the aspiration of the liberation by individuals is a wrong thing. For example, dharma, kam, arth, moksha. So aspiring for the moksha for a single person is not right. This is a selfish tendency. So he thought that the divine this whole world should become divine, right? The life should be divine. That is the topic of his work, life divine. So life should be divine. And when it will be that, when the divine will come happen in this life, when the mind will become the part of the super mind, something like that. A relatively critical philosophy, but this much is. So this he says, this is evolution. And now how this evolution will happen? This evolution will happen through integral yoga. Getting my point? So integral yoga philosophy is a means to achieve what? Evolution. And finally, the merger of the life and the normal life and the divine. That's it. Mind with the super mind. Okay? Now, integral yoga. Now, yoga, you know, for example, there is Ramdev Baba's yoga. Now, there are different yogas. For example, there is Hatha Yoga. There is some sort of yoga that is more of a nature of Tantric yoga, right? Some exercise yoga, and different yogas are there. Raj Yoga and Hatha Yoga, they are different yoga. So Aurobindo talked about the integration of every yoga and creating the philosophy of the integral yoga. Okay, that is the whole idea. Now I hope you know the bit of it, because in GS we don't too much read about this. Okay, in philosophy we do read in detail, but that's an optional thing. But for GS purposes, if the question comes, philosophy of integral yoga, philosophy of integral Advait or Purna Advait, these are associated with the Aurobindo. Okay, Aurobindo also followed the idea of the Vivekananda, right? When you see the universalization of things, the whole idea of the Vivekananda also comes into being, right? Then in 20, he was associated with the figure named as the Mother. We'll discuss that in detail. Then in 1926, he established Aurobindo Ashram. Okay, later on, he was also nominated for the Nobel Prize in the 2 different categories. So who was the mother? Mother name was Mira Alfassa. So she was a French citizen who, along with Aurobindo, helped set up his ashram. And after he died, after Aurobindo died, she continued the work of the Aurobindo in that particular ashram also in Auroville, the ashram in the Puducherry. Okay, right. Then this is all we have discussed, integral yoga. Then he, while in his spiritual journey, he also made a very poetic contribution. So his all collections were named as Savitri, a legend and the symbol, right? An epic poem verse. So it was compiled by the Sri Aurobindo, completed by Aurobindo, and for that he was nominated for the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1943. Okay, in 1950 he was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. Nobel Peace Prize means his whole contribution to the idea of nationalism, Indian independence, his whole idea to the spiritual world, right? A lot of work and philosophy also. So for that he was given the Nobel Peace Prize, at least nominated, not given, nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize also. These details, if the question comes, then it becomes handy for us to, these details helps us to identify the right option. Now discussing his views on the education. Now on education he has really good views. Now this idea, this idea you can use in your essay also, or in ethics. What were Aurobindo's view on the education? So he believed that, first of all, sa vidya ya vimuktiyet. That means the education that makes free from the bondages and the barrier, that is true education, right? Now, as I told you, there is Brahma in everybody. As I told you, he believed that divine is in everybody. So he also believed that there is a innate power in the man. The education would enable man to discover the same. So it is the education through which we get to realize the Brahma inside us. Okay. So he believed in an integral idea of education also. That education not only from the worldly bondage of pain and suffering, but also from the mental bondage of ignorance and the evil. This is how the education should be. And that is why he talked about the education should lead to the integral personality. And education, very holistic idea of education, the physical being, vital being, mental being, psychical being, and spiritual being. This is what education should lead us to. Okay, and that's all you can see here. Okay, so every type of education you can read. He talked about every kind of education, from music, art, dance, craft, true love, honesty, then finally the spiritual education, the highest form of the education. Okay, love in every living and the non-living bodies and the divine value. Okay, I hope this much information is enough for us, right? So with this we finish Aurobindo. This much is relevant for Aurobindo. Then Bankim Chand Chatterjee. Now Bankim Chatterjee was key figure in the literary renaissance of the Bengal as well as the broader Indian subcontinent. He wrote extensively and brought about a lot of nationalist feeling in his work. So some details about him, timeline is not very relevant for him. For example, he lived from 1838 to 1894. 1894, please remember this figure, right? 1894 he died. Then a few of the details. He was one of the first graduates of the University of Calcutta. So this distinction he holds. Okay, now we will see also where it becomes important. One of the questions has also been asked on these lines. Then when he also got the deputy director of the Jessore. His own father was also the deputy collector. Then finally he became the district magistrate as well. So he was appointed within the state also. His famous works are many, but one of the important work is Anandamath and Devi Chaudhrani. Okay. Anand Math was basically based upon the Sannyasi rebellion, Sannyasi revolt. So Sannyasi revolt was not a singular event. It was a series of events or spanned over many years. So the sannyasis who were facing the harsh economic order imposed by the Britishers, for example, British imposed tax at many places, right? Their policy led to the disastrous famines also. So they, along with the peasants and some zamindars, they revolted against the British. Okay, and it was subdued by the Warren Hastings later on. So the revolt saw the equal participation of Hindu Muslims, right? They were known as the Fakir Rebellion also. Many of the peoples, for example, Devi Chaudhrani, from there his work was also inspired. So Devi Chaudhrani was there, right? And also, as I told you, he wrote the novel of Devi Chaudhrani. He saw the importance of the role of the women taking up the struggle against the alien rule, which posed a threat to the traditional Indian values. Okay, so Anand Math is based upon the Sannyasi rebellion. Now, protagonists in the Devi Chaudhrani, in that time, protagonist women were obviously those were the time women were behind the parda, did not even show their face to the men outside. However, his work in the Devi Chaudhrani was what we can say that was a empowering work at that time, point of time. Okay, women, just one second, women were not shown in a very liberating light in the Devi Chaudhrani, as we told that he was fighting for the traditional values. However, he was fighting that the traditional values of the women, where women should be there, they rose up against the British. However, he believed that they should fight against the British. However, it is the idea of Bankim Chatterjee that they should be at their home. Okay, and that is why some of the feminists were not agreeing with him. That though he wrote for the women's participation in the independence movement, it is fine. However, the traditional values, the feminists say, they are regressive themselves. Now, many of the Indians want that tradition. For example, we have seen Bal Gangadhar Tilak also, the age of consent. Same controversies here also. So he is fighting for the traditional values, but because of the traditional values, women are suffering. So that the same dilemma that Bal Gangadhar Tilak faced, same dilemma he also faced. Now, Vande Mataram was one, like everybody knows, Vande Mataram was composed by Bankim Chatterjee only. So it was composed by Bankim Chatterjee in 1870s. However, it became part in the Anand Math in 1882. Anand Math was written in 1882. Okay, in 1896, this poem, after two years after his death, after death of the Bankim Chatterjee, poem was sung by the Rabindranath Tagore at Congress session. So this fact is relevant for us. Then in 1909, it was translated in English by Sri Aurobindo. There we see the connection between those two. Okay, he talked about the cultural nationalism. All the extremists will talk about it. Then Congress Working Committee adopted it as a national song in 1937. And in finally 24 January 1950, our Constituent Assembly selected or had the Vande Mataram as our national song. So few of the dates you need to keep in mind, right? It was included in Anand Math, then first time it was sung, then translated to English, and finally adopted as a national song. So now let us discuss few of the questions. Now both of things are done, Bankim Chatterjee and Aurobindo Ghosh. Let's now discuss some of the questions that will give us why we should read on these lines. In every session, we try to discuss some of the questions, right? So for example, who among the following gave the systematic critique of the moderate politics in the series of article known as the New Lamps for the Old? Very easy question, Aurobindo Ghosh, right? So this is the right answer for A. Very easy. Then they want you to arrange something. So let us see, Anand Math and Life Divine. These two we have read. So Anand Math is second C and third is B. So can we find the answer? Second C and third is B. Yes, so this becomes right. Right? Then I'm just trying to show you how you can use these selected, segregated knowledge, discrete knowledge, and apply it to get the questions right, even if you do not know the remaining things. Then any besant we have done. In the first one, common wheel. Aurobindo Ghosh, that means he was treated with Vande Mataram. He translated that. His journal was also Vande Mataram. Then third D and fourth is A. Third D and fourth is A. So you are at least able to eliminate two options. Okay, then Shyamji Krishna Verma was associated with the sociologist. That's not we have done, but you must have done it. So answer will be A. Okay, then here also Anusilan Samiti is associated with the Aurobindo Ghosh, right? Then Swaraj Party we have discussed. Swaraj Party discussed with the C.R. Das. I am discussing the questions that we have already discussed in our series till now. So second is A and fourth is C. Fourth is C and second is A. Yeah, this one is right. Okay. Next is which of the following rewards were made famous by the Bankim Chatterjee? These are the all UPSC previous year question. Okay. So Bankim Chatterjee by his novel Anand Mat. So it is in the Sannyasi Rebellion. Very easy. D option. Then you see here. Good question. Ishwachandra Vidyasagar we have not read. We will do Ishwachandra Vidyasagar. Don't worry. Then Bankim Chatterjee was the first graduate of Calcutta University. Okay, this option is right. Then Keshav Chandra Sen's campaigns against Sati led to the enactment of the law to ban Sati by the Governor General. Is it right? No, it was Raja Ram Mohan Roy. So option third is wrong. The third is wrong. These two gone. Then we know second is right. Then we get first right. Okay. Then option number B is right. Then which of the following events happened earliest? Now this question was a very recent one. Now 4 events are there, right? I'm just not discussing this question's answer, but I'm discussing, we see this one. Bankim Chatterjee wrote Anand Mat. So we know now this year is 1882. Even if you cannot recall, you will remember, okay, he was around 1880s, he was more prominent, right? And if you know a few of the details, you are able to, at least you know that this year is 1882, right? So with this, now you know this information, it can help you to solve this question. Your probability of getting these questions becomes high. As I told you, prelims is all about getting the probabilities right. Getting the probabilities more towards getting the answer. You may not know the exact answer, but your probability should become right so that at the end you can make more intelligent guess. Right? So with this, we finish our discussion. Just to reiterate, we have finished our places in news in our current affair till March month. So 10 months places in news we have already done. Please revise places in news indexes stripes are already done, already uploaded on the YouTube channel. And now we are finishing everything till March month. We are also coming up with the compilation series. Next month, starting from the April month. Sorry, starting from the next month will be June month, right? So June month we'll be coming up with the compilation series and the remaining sessions of the Impetus series as well. Okay, then please subscribe to our Telegram channel because you can find all the PDFs there only. All the PDFs are uploaded on our Telegram channel. And this is the end of our session. So see you in the next class. Next series we'll try 2 more personalities. I'm thinking Motilal Nehru and C.R. Das. So these 2 personalities I'll cover in the next class. Till then, thank you everyone. See you next time. Bye-bye.